Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy live show, and man, we have got a great lineup for you tonight. We're so excited to have the BBQ pit bosses from the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation with us tonight. Mr. Johnny Dunn, Mr. Chris Davis, Mr. Mark Lambert. These guys don't need any introduction. They did an amazing job this weekend down in Campo, Texas at the CBA competition down there. Absolutely phenomenal. We've also got Joey Smith, the founder of the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, with us as well. And then we have got a special guest that we are so honored to have on our show, Mr. Billy Pribble. And he was one of the vets that was actually part of the competition this weekend. So it is outstanding to have these gentlemen to take out a little bit of their time. I hope everybody enjoys this show. It is near and dear to my heart, as I am sure it is to many of you. We would not have the freedoms that we have in this great country if it wasn't for the vets that fought and died for our country and those that continue to serve. And we are so honored to have these guys on here tonight. I know Billy has served in the Army National Guard, and there's no doubt we know that Mr. Chris Davis is a Marine, hardcore Marine, and absolutely loves it. And I tell you what, he will do anything for you. That guy's got a heart as big as all outdoors. So we hope we have a great show tonight. If you've got questions or anything like that, we're going to obviously certainly open it up to let you ask questions as well. And we're going to give folks a few minutes to get in. As the meantime, like we normally do, we always want to thank our listeners. Gordon, thank you for being here today. Miss Caitlin, appreciate you being here. Dustin, thank you for being here as well. Cassie, girl, I want to congratulate you. Just real quick, I'm going to tell you, this girl has cooked in a SCA competition. Her first SCA competition, she finished dead ass last. She came in, she took Shauna Rapolo's state class, and this weekend she cooked her second competition and finished third place, and I think she got her golden ticket to come to Fort Worth. I hope she'll be able to make it this March. If you are there, Cassie, certainly make sure you look me up. But congratulations on an outstanding weekend, second time out, and finished third after finishing DAL. Emlyn, thank you for being here all the way from Ohio. Justin, thank you for being here. Sorry I missed last week's show. That's all right, buddy. You're here today, and we got a great show lined up for you. John, we appreciate you being here. Lucas, thank you for being here. Mr. Terry Roan, got the 2018 SCA World Champ in the house. Thank you, Terry, for being here. Alan, we appreciate you being here today. And also Mark, appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you so much. Darian, thank you for being here. Mr. Paul, we appreciate you being here tonight. Mr. Billy as well, likewise. Alan, thank you, sir. Mr. Chris Cheney, all the way from Alaska. We love to cook with Chris. We just don't ever know if he's going to be in Texas or if he's going to be in Alaska. So thank you for joining us tonight, Chris. Means a lot to have you here. Mr. Dwayne Turnbow, thank you, brother, for being here. And Justin Moody, we appreciate you coming in as well. There's Mr. Ashley Henson. That's Mark's good buddy that they do a lot of cooking together and do some YouTube videos as well. Glad to have you join us tonight, Ashley. Brian, appreciate you being here. Proud to call Chris Davis my brother. So absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, she did get the golden ticket. Oh, and the golden ticket was in Ancillary. Okay, really cool. Hey, you'll at least be there. We hope that you come to Fort Worth. It's a great place. Let's see. Heck yeah, congrats, guys. That's it. Joseph, thank you for being here. Jeremy, we appreciate you being here. Mr. Donald Keene, thank you, brother, for being here. Stop talking. Let's hear from the pros. Yeah, look, Donald, the reason I do this, we try to give everybody a little bit to get in here. This is one of the things that we do. We always want to welcome our listeners and give everybody a chance to get in before we just start diving right in. Corby, thank you for being here, man. We appreciate it. Michael, thank you for joining us tonight. And Mr. Danny Helm, we appreciate you being here, as well as Toby. We appreciate you being here. Good afternoon, all the way from West Virginia. So absolutely wonderful to have so many people in here. Danny, thank you for joining us tonight. Like I said, if you have any questions or for these guys, we want to always open this up to them. And just if you got a question, let's get it out there to them. So got quite a few folks. Already got 38 folks on board. Looks like everybody's just about here. Now it's 42 folks. We appreciate you being here. And there's Mr. Billy Sr. right there, Mr. Billy Pribble Sr., first-time viewer. Thank you, Billy, for being here. I'm sure you're incredibly proud of your son, so thank you, sir. And Jenna, thank you for being here. Jen, appreciate you being here as well. All right, so real quick, I just want to go in and thank all of our partners that make this happen. We couldn't do what we do without them. If you're needing any kind of rubs or anything like that, be sure to check these guys out. Mr. Danny Helm at Be Extreme Barbecue, our good friends at Prairie Fresh Ribs. If you're looking for ribs, you can check. You can get them at Raider Red Meats. They're in Lubbock, Texas. They got quick shipping, and it's really inexpensive. They got some really good rates, so be sure to check them out. Good buddy, Mr. Brian Crawford at Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. Be sure to check them out. Got a great line of every rub and accessory you could possibly imagine. Mr. Wild Bill down at Texas Select Seasoning. Our good friend Gunnar Wilheim, and not only that is he a good friend to us, but he is an incredible friend to the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. I know Joey wants to give him a shout out for all he does in helping supply them the knives and cutleries and stuff they need for all the vets. Also, Mr. Dustin at the barbecue store, so greatly appreciate him once again carrying all the products he does and just about everything that we use in our classes here on Barbecue Champs. Also, Mr. John Lindsay, all queued up. And last but not least, my good dear friend down in Lafayette, Louisiana, Miss Gail with Daigle's Barbecue Sauces and Rubs. We appreciate all of them and their support. And we couldn't do what we do without them, so it's greatly, greatly appreciated. I got a couple other folks here real quick. Hi, Mike. I'm still on the outlook for a comp trailer to borrow for World Food. Yep, I'm still trying to check for you. I've got a couple guys looking, so if we can find somebody to help you out, brother. He's coming over from Australia and or New Zealand, and he's needing a comp trailer to cook out of for the World Food Championship. Mr. Dan, we appreciate you being here. Also, Mark, thank you as well. Well, look, it's that time. We need to get started. We got about 50 folks here, and we wanted to always give everybody a chance to come in first before we just dive right into it. So first and foremost, I think we got to bring in the head of the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, the man that's behind it, the guy that had the vision to help these vets, Mr. Joey Smith with Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. Brother, I know you have got to be smiling, crying, and everything else. Brother, we appreciate you. We appreciate you being here tonight. Just congratulations, brother, on an incredible weekend. It marked the 3rd year anniversary of when you launched this, because you launched it 3 years ago there in El Campo. And tell us how you got to feel right now after all that.
Well, we hadn't even made a post yet. I'm so emotionally about it. Everybody knows that when I spoke there and for their win, my biggest thing is everybody that was contacting me going, how'd y'all, he goes, how did you put the team together? And who were you going to select to be your head cook? Because look at the champions that got to be at the fit coaches this weekend.
Yeah.
And you sit there and select, you got to have 1, 2, or 3, because we had so many vets involved. For us, this was the most amount of vets and first responders that we've had. You know, we had the first responders that came to actually help on the event side. That was so cool about them going, hey, we just want to be a part of it. Let those guys run with it. We're going to come back a later date. We just want to feel what you got. So it was great to have that group. But the question was, and I'm going to give my Chris Davis, this guy has probably been my most picked coaches as I've ever had in 1 year. And I came out that morning to do the playlist because everybody wanted to know who they were cooking with and so forth and so forth. And I flew Mark in there going, why didn't you make Mark? He's a 7-time world champion. I said, hey, I'll tell you what, they're all going to be working together as a team. Went in the background and trimming. So we did everything as a group to get started. So they get to experience a little bit of every pick coach that they could have on premises there. So they started the event out like that. And then we wanted to keep the Chrome team alive because Chris, I told him, I said, hey, we were leading pork till I let you go cook SS Memorial. And then we're out of first place in pork. We've been leading the whole series. So I know he felt like a little dumps after that. And I said, you know what? Here's your chance to redeem yourself, because when I put Chris Davis under pressure, I see the most out of him. And that's the reason why we went that route this weekend. And regardless, they all walked. They all just got after. I mean, we've never had this many walks and combined the last 4 cook-offs, and they all decided to do it all at once because it wasn't just him paying attention. They all did.
They all walked. Well, speaking of Chris Davis, speaking of the man that won the grand champion for the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, we got to bring in our brother, Mr. Chris Davis. Chris, buddy, how you feeling, man?
I feel great. I feel great.
I bet it.
You have to correct you though, Mike. I did not win this. Our veterans won this for us.
They did. Yes. It was for all of them. It was for all of you. Was just the man that was leading the team. So yes, I do. I'm usually really good about that, and I'm glad you corrected me. I stand corrected. There is no me or there is no. It's I in team, man. Especially with you guys and what you do, and huge congratulations for working together as a team to get everybody to be involved in it. It's really, really cool what Joey was saying, that when it came to the meat selections and trimming and stuff, all the guys together was able to get together, all the vets, and see a little bit of prep from each and every one of you. And I think that is really, really cool. So,
well, what's the best part of it? This is the first time we really had a group this size that engaged. And when they engaged to us, they made us champions. It was their cook. I mean, they had when we started letting them trim, and Chris did the first few things, and he turned them loose with them Gunter Wilhelm knives, and they went to town. And he goes, man, they want it. They want it. And they built us up. They built us up for the weekend.
They were the most engaged veterans and first responders that we've ever had come through the foundation. And it was something really magical to watch.
Right. That's really, really cool.
Especially Billy and Ben both, man. Like those guys, they were workhorses this weekend.
That's good. That's good. All right. So we got another one that was on that team, and his name is Mr. Johnny Dunn. And we certainly got to bring Mr. Johnny in because he was another one of the pit coaches. Johnny, brother, how are you doing? How do you feel? And tell us a little bit about your experience this past weekend.
I'm doing great. I feel awesome. It was a very exciting weekend, and expectations are pretty high. Chris and I talked before this, and neither one of us sleep on Friday night because our biggest fear is we're going to let the veterans down.
Right.
And we don't want to do that. So we didn't get a lot of sleep Friday night, and Saturday was a tough day. We had a lot of issues on our team, and we overcame them. And I had a couple of great veterans, and they participated. They were hands-on, just like Chris is saying. Couldn't ask for better. And I had a couple of bonus players that. One is a first responder who was our photographer, and a retired first responder who was injured on a job, has PTSD. And my brother-in-law, who is a retired Marine, who also has PTSD, who actually can't even eat. He has a feeding tube in that was there.
He's not only a Marine, though, Johnny. He's also a police officer, too, correct?
And a retired police officer. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's he falls into both categories. And he built us a rifle for the auction, which did very well in the auction. And I'll let Joey talk about that. But he was there the whole weekend. He made his rounds. He talked to everybody. It was tremendously good for him, even though he can't really enjoy the barbecue. He loves the smell. He can still smell, and he can see it. He took a lot of photographs himself on his phone. So
right.
It was a very rewarding weekend all the way around. We wanted at least one good call, and we exceeded those expectations by a little bit.
Right. Now, Johnny, didn't you have a first or second place brisket?
First place brisket.
You had a first place brisket. Okay.
It wasn't me. It was the team.
The team. Yeah. Right.
And we had some challenges, and we overcame them.
Right.
And that was the second to last rule I give the veterans when I talk to them is to never give up.
Right.
I mean, until you turn that meat in, you have an opportunity to make it better.
That's
it
right.
took you all day to cook the dang thing.
It did. It was the most stubborn brisket I've ever cooked. Well, I'm not going to say that. It was one of the most stubborn briskets I've ever cooked.
All of our meats were off. We're prepping pork, everything, getting ready to box pork stuff. Johnny's brisket is still on the pit cooking.
Yeah.
Wow.
I usually have my brisket off by 10:30, 11 o'clock at the latest, and I didn't pull it off till 1. No, 2.
Wow.
Excuse me, 2.
An hour before turn it. Wow.
Yeah, it didn't even get an hour rest time.
Yeah.
Like 40 minutes because I had to pull it back out of the Campo,
Right.
put it back on and set the bark and the glaze and slice it and all that. And so I had 20 minutes to do all of that.
Wow. That's crazy.
But we didn't give up.
That's it. You got to keep doing it.
And that's a key message, not only for competition barbecue, but for our veterans and first responders with PTSD. Don't give up.
That's right. Keep
Somebody's
it going.
here to help you. And that's what Texas Chrome's all about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, George says, hello, fellas. It was great meeting y'all all at El Campo and hanging out with some amazing people. Great things going for the military vets. Yeah, absolutely, George. That and the first responders that are suffering from PTSD as well. It's really, really so awesome. Well, look, I got to bring in the third leg of this amazing team. This guy really, I don't really know if he needs much introduction. He's only a 7-time world barbecue champion, Mr. Mark Lambert himself. Hey, Mark, buddy, how are you doing?
Awesome, man.
That's great. That's great, man. How did it feel? I mean, I know I got a chance to go last year. I'm so upset I didn't get a chance to go this year, but this year you actually had a team to lead up. I think last year, how many teams did you have last year, Joe? Is it just one?
Yes, we only had a single team. Chris, I probably had 2 or 3, maybe 3 veterans. We had 2 cancel out the last minute.
Right. Yeah. So how did it feel, Mark, to be able to come in and knowing that Joey put you, no pressure, in the position to come in and cook the 4 meats required for this competition?
Well, it's an honor, I think, to be there with those veterans, especially the guys that really wanted to be. They really wanted to learn, and then I talked to a few of the guys directly offline, so to speak. Just walking back and forth to the pool or to awards or wherever, and really got to hear some of their story and what they go through. And I've never been through a traumatic event such as wars, things like that. So.
Right.
I have a hard time relating until you talk to some of those guys and hear some of the things they go through. And you see some of it in some of the TV shows and everything, but until you talk to somebody and you're standing next to them and you look in their eyes, you can really understand, get a glimpse of understanding of what they go through.
Right.
So to help those guys get some experience of some escape from that type of stress, then that's what I'm there for. And we really got to see that this time. These guys got so involved and engaged and focused on what was happening. It started out, you could see the guys were a little timid, but the more and more and more that we did, the more they understood and the more they wanted.
Right.
And so that was the cool part, is to get to see those guys really focus and step away from everything else in their life and focus on that right there. And that's what it was about.
Yeah. I can only imagine it's got to be pretty intimidating coming in. I mean, you guys, let's face it, Joey, you're a 2-time world champion. Mark, you're a 7-time world champion. Oh, excuse me, Joey, 1-time world champion. Mark, 7.
1.5 almost.
1.5. That's right. You almost got it back to back. But I would imagine it's probably at the same time a little intimidating, right? You're coming in and, I don't want to screw this up would be the first I don't want to touch nothing. That would be the first thing I would think of. I would be very timid, like, Mark, I don't want to screw this stuff up, man, and I know you're such a good coach. You're such a great teacher. I would imagine all of y'all are like that. Y'all are very humble. I've been around each of you long enough to know that. I would imagine, just like Chris said just a second ago, I do one, here it is. I'm turning it over to you. I'm going to watch you. If you're messing something up, I'm going to correct you. I'm going to tell you. I want you to do it right. But that's how you're going to jump in and learn, right?
Totally
Yeah.
hands on.
Yeah.
When they were worried about dirtying the trailer up, my big rule of thumb is,
You've never seen Joey cook. You don't have to worry about dirtying it up. Come to the studio and watch him film his class. It was the worst guy ever. So
there's one more worse than me. That Chris Davis fella right there. You want to see someone get it on? He'll sling stuff everywhere. It's on the outside of the trailer, running down the walls, all over responders.
That is too funny. Well, guys, I tell you what, it sounds like an amazing weekend, but to me, I want to bring in, you guys are all great. You're all stars in my opinion, but I want to bring in the man of the hour. And I think we're all want to give this guy props. This was one of the guys that was there. He was one of the vets, Mr. Billy Pribble. Thank you, Billy, so much, not only for your service to our country, but to take the time out of your schedule to be able to come on to this podcast tonight. And I just want to welcome you, man, and thank you so much for what you've done.
Well, Mike, I certainly appreciate the opportunity. And, I've told these guys so many times over the past weekend, thank you. In fact, Joey said, quit thanking me. But it's so hard for me to say to not do it because they do so much for my brothers and sisters and veterans and first responders that it's just hard not to just continue to say thank you.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about Billy. I know that you're the pitmaster of Smoke King's Barbecue, and I've spelt the Kings wrong, so I apologize for that. But tell me a little bit about you and did you start doing competition barbecue? When did you start doing it and stuff like that?
Well, my exposure to competition barbecue actually started through steaks, in fact. After my first deployment in 07 and 08, I was home, and my wife and I really loved to watch the Food Network, and we saw a show that was called Challenge, and the Challenge show was at the Texas Steak Cook-Off in Hico, Texas. And it just so happened that the guy that won that event was from my hometown here in Whitney. And so I called a good buddy up and said, man, did you watch that show? Kenny just won that whole joker. And if that dude can cook a steak, by God, we can cook a steak. So I called him, and we got a group of friends together, and we created a team. And so we went and cooked that cook-off that year. And the year it aired on TV, I think there were 24 teams. And, of course, once it got on the airwaves, the next year there were 80-something teams.
Wow.
So, we jumped into a Shark Tank, not knowing what we were doing, but we actually placed in the top 25 with that steak, and we were hooked. And there's this huge barbecue cook-off right around the corner from me in Meridian. It's called the National Championship Barbecue Cook-Off, and they do it every year in October. And we wanted to qualify for it. You used to have to qualify to cook there. You had to place first, second, or third in one of the meat categories. So we bought a pit. We decided we were going to cook barbecue, and none of us had ever cooked barbecue in our life. Typical barbecue story, right?
Right.
You go cook barbecue. And it didn't turn out well for us at all. I think the first cook-off we entered, and this is in 09, is when this happened. There were 12 teams, and we finished 12th in every category.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
I mean, it was a typical barbecue story like you hear so many times. So we stayed up partying, thought you had to cook 5 briskets and 12 racks of ribs and how that goes. But so we did that for a little bit. I got orders again to go back overseas in 09, late in 09. And so I had to go for train up. And during that train up, after we were done, we got to come home and we cooked the contest again. But while I was on train up, man, everybody that knows me knows I'm a highly competitive person. I don't like to lose, and I don't like to be made a fool of. And that's what I felt like when I'm finishing dead ass last at every contest. Yeah. That's exactly how I felt.
Right.
And so I did some reading and I did some research, and there was some forums online, the Pickle Pig, the Barbecue Brethren, Texas Barbecue Forum, and all those guys really helped me a lot through there with tips and tricks. And then on our fourth contest, we came in after on my leave, and we actually hit a first place brisket there in RGC, the event. And so we qualified to cook in Meridian. Well, so I went on deployment, 10 and 11, and I came home. But while I was overseas, my wife and I talked to her, and, we really wanted to start doing barbecue as a family. My daughter, my wife, and I. And so I'd asked my teammates what their opinion was of me keeping the team name and just doing competition barbecue.
Right.
And they said, it's your team, do what you want. You're more than happy. They gave me their blessing.
Right.
So 2012, we cooked a bit, and to say I didn't have problems after deployment, I'd be lying. And we cooked quite a bit in 2012. Didn't do much in 13, 14, 15. I didn't cook at all. And then we decided in 2016 that we would cook a little bit, and I did pretty well in 2016. But for whatever reason, it just wasn't interesting me anymore. It just wasn't my thing. So I quit cooking completely. Mm-hmm. And you fast forward to 2020 and COVID, my wife and I, we kind of talked, and, we wanted to do stuff that we used to do as a family. And we were trying to reconnect and get deeper into the things that we used to do. Mm-hmm. One of the things when my wife and I were dating is I'm a real big drag race fan. I love drag racing. And so I was going to build a race car. And
right.
She and I went to Little River Dragway and watched some drag racing, and quickly understood that there was no chance for me building a race car because it is so hard and so much money to be competitive anymore.
It is.
So, well, one thing I could do is barbecue, and we could do that as a family.
Right.
So, 2021, I decided to jump back into barbecue competitions. And I selected the West Volunteer or VFW cook-off, which is the Cody Dragoo cook-off in West Texas. Cody, I knew Cody because of my cooking previously. He was the promoter at the Penelope cook-off. And I was on Whitney Volunteer Fire Department at the time, and I actually responded to the explosion in West that took Cody's life. So that was an important cook-off to me.
Right.
I wanted that one to be the first one back. And interestingly enough, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Chris Davis, GC'd that event.
Wow.
And my good friend, Dwayne Turnbow, RGC'd that event. But at that cook-off, Dwayne, I was kind of like, man, wow, I cannot believe how much competition barbecue has changed. Mm-hmm. When I quit cooking in 2016 to 2021, I'm out there in a canopy, and I'm seeing $100,000 trailers,
right.
And he told me, he said, man, this guy's a class graduate. This guy's a class graduate. All these guys are taking multiple classes. And if you're not taking classes, you're not going to be competitive in competition barbecue. So I found BBQ Champs Academy, and I bought Mr. Lee Hickle's class and, started doing that. And BBQ Champs Academy is ultimately what led me to the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. I was watching a podcast, and I saw Mr. Smith talking about the foundation, and I
it's
thought
Joey.
Right
Joey. We call him Joey.
Sorry. So I heard Joey.
There you go.
About the foundation, and I thought, man, one of these days I'm going to be a pit coach for those guys, and but I didn't. At first, I'll tell you, I didn't initially apply for it because I had reservations. We have a selfless service type mentality of, it's always somebody else.
Others first. Yeah, others first.
I was a medic in the National Guard, Army National Guard. So I always try to take care of my soldiers, and I always try to take care of them before me. And so I didn't initially apply, and it took several months for me to actually get the courage on myself to even send in the application. It truly did. But I finally got around to doing it, and here we are. I mean, we just GC'd El Campo because these guys right here are freaking leaders on their own, every single one of them, and they took us veterans and led us as part of a team to a championship.
Man, that is an unbelievable story. I'll tell you what, I'm so glad that you finally decided to go ahead and put the application in. One thing about Joey, his heart is big as all outdoors. And if you submit something in it and he feels like he can get you in that program, I don't think Joey, you probably have never really had to turn anybody away, have you?
No, as long as they got the effort and the want to, this door is always swinging open. And like I said, it never closes. They can come in and out this thing many times they need to. Because what's happened, you got to think about that event. We had 2 other veterans who went through the program, finished in top 10 of the series, and one of them got 3rd overall, which Josh did a hell of a job there.
Yeah,
and I'm
Josh.
proud of all of them.
Yeah, Josh. I mean, he's another one that he was one of the first ones that went through the ranks. And Josh Hale is I should have had Josh. I don't even know. We didn't even think about getting Josh on here, but he's somebody that went through the ranks, right? And now all of a sudden he built his own trailer. He's got his cooker. He's out cooking all the time. He'll kick your butt. And I know it helped him. I mean, that's the whole thing. You're giving these guys a purpose, right? And Billy, do you feel like barbecue is a purpose that it's helped you? It's helped you with PTSD and stuff like that with the barbecue family that you have?
Well, so you can give it a lot of similarities between the military and competition barbecue. It's structured. Structure is very important to military people. There's a structure. You have to be able to improvise, adapt, and overcome. We hear that in the military all the time. You can ask Mr. Dunn about that brisket. He told you that. They fought that thing the whole day, but they still persevered at the end of the day. The barbecue community has been one of the best communities I have ever been involved in. Some of my lifelong friends I've met through barbecue. Yeah. And, each one of these guys right now are now my family. And, just like in the military, I'll bleed for these guys because they are now my family.
Yeah. That's such an incredible story. I mean, it really, really is. And like I said, I'm so glad that you filled out the application to go in. If anybody's got any questions for any of these guys, please, this is why we got the comments open. This is why we open this up. Let it rip. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. And Billy, I'm glad that I'm glad, one, that you found us. I'm glad that it opened up that avenue to know about the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. I hope it helps you. I hope it helps you become a better cook. You already, it's obviously you've taken some classes from us, and we greatly appreciate your support with that. And I think you told me right off the get-go after taking Lee's class, you got an RGC, which is great. Now you've learned from some of the best there is. You start getting tutorials from Mark Lambert and Chris Davis and Johnny Dunn. I mean, your knowledge continues to grow from that. And, who knows, maybe one day you'll be one of them pit coaches as well, or at least somebody that can be right there to help mentor these people of what it means to go through that.
Oh, yes, sir. That's the end goal. I mean, I established small goals, and, I heard Mr. Hickel, whenever I decided to buy his class, the reason I decided on his class is that I prayed right, I tithed right, and he did the right thing by God. And that's what he thought was what he was doing right. And so you have to be able to give back, and you honor the men who are worth honoring and do the right thing. Man, and ultimately, at the end of the day, one of these days I will be working with these guys right beside them, because I will be a world champion, and I will be able to teach vets and return the favor on what we're doing here.
Joey, that's got to make you feel pretty good, brother. Chris?
We seen it in Port. Mark and I did. The 2 veterans we had in there with us, Billy and Ben, they literally just slid us to the side. Said, hey, let us do this. We got this.
Yeah. That's great. Look who just popped on, Joey. There's Josh. We was definitely sniffing at the door for sure this weekend, but I cannot be happier to be beat by the foundation. My son was trying to give some hamburger classes to one and only Mr. Mark Lambert. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that. That is so awesome.
We have photographic evidence.
Yes.
That is.
That boy took over the cook.
That is so awesome right there. Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Joey.
So it was hard. Believe it or not, I said I wasn't going to cook our cook-off. And for me to go back and check, and I'm peeking at it, and I'm going, hey, what about this? And I taste this, and I just mosey on. Those guys were so interjected and stuff. It was amazing just to watch the talent to work them that they were doing. I was just flabbergasted. I wish I had a camera in the trailer. That's what we're working on now, because to video that, to watch it live in person, I was a proud daddy.
Yeah, I bet. And because you promoted it, you had told me because I promoted it, I didn't want to do any of the cooking. I stayed away. I assembled the 3 teams. I let them go. I drop in just like you said. Hey, do y'all need anything? Is there everything going smooth? And I'm sure probably, you got 3 guys there. They're probably like, Joey, will you please get out of here? Chris probably told you, get the out of my trailer. Chris, this is a rated G.
That's what I was going to say. If we do video, we're going to have to cut the sound out.
Yeah, because you couldn't with Chris because every other word would be bip, bip, dip, dip, dip.
He ain't by himself.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you, brother.
My wife from my mouth, and that's the Marine coming out of me. I speak from the heart. Everything I do is from my heart.
That's for sure. So
it comes out with the wrong words sometimes.
Sometimes that can happen. I understand. Part of being a Marine, though, right? Yes, sir. Hey, thank you for keeping it rated G tonight. We've got a lot of young listeners. So I tell you what, it's just been absolutely phenomenal. Josh, thank you for coming on and being here tonight. Got a question from Sean. Did it surprise the coaches to see how the veterans took to the structure of competition barbecue? Chris, I'll start with you.
Not at all. It didn't surprise me at all. And the reason why it didn't surprise me, because in the military, you are trained to follow instruction. When you're given instruction, it's what discipline is the instant obedience to orders.
Yeah.
And when we said, hey, do this, they took over and they done what we asked them to do. So It doesn't surprise me at all. Like Billy said earlier, we improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Yeah. I guess you guys would probably say the same thing, Mark and Johnny.
Well, the only thing I'd say is I did not serve. I was raised by a man who did. My dad was an 82nd Airborne. And so I got some flavor of that. Trust me. I tell everybody I grew up with a jump boot up my ass. And one of the things that happened on our team, we had just turned in pork, and we had finally pulled the brisket off the pit after fighting it all day. And it was really hot then. The clouds had cleared out and the wind had died down a little bit. Not enough, but died down a little bit. And I knew everybody was getting hot. So Patty says I do this all the time. When I'm in competition mode, I said, okay, everybody get their ass in a GD motorhome and cool off. And I don't even remember saying it that way. And they all responded by saying, yes, sir. I mean, every one of them filed in a motorhome, and I'm like, damn, did I just say that?
That's
funny. Yes, I did.
Wow.
And so, no, it didn't surprise me that they fell in with a structure of competition barbecue. I think it's part of their training, and the training they go through in the military, they never forget. It stays with them the rest of their lives. I've seen it too many times with friends and family, and I think it's awesome. I have a tremendous amount of respect for that.
Yeah. Mark?
Something I'd like to say, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
And Billy can probably attest to this, and I wish Ben could be on here so he could attest to it as well. In the back of that trailer this weekend, I mean, I truly felt like I was back on deployment or that I was in the barracks somewhere, because it was a comedy show. It's what it was. We had a job to do. We did our job, but the rest of it was a comedy show, and
right.
The guy in the middle down there, Mark Lambert, he had us laughing so hard, man.
Yeah. Mark will always lighten the spirit a little bit. You can count on that. So that's why he's so chill. He's so chilled. He's got 7 world champions. I got this, guys. Don't worry. We've got this. So
he was
it's hard to shake Mark Lambert.
Yeah, you ain't gonna rattle that guy. He's seen everything. So,
he'll calm down the person that rattles. If someone's rattled, Mark takes care of it. I mean, he's taught me that, and this is another birth thing that I've surrounded myself with these great pitmasters.
Yeah, that's great. Mark, what do you think about it? You kind of echo the same words?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all in how the guys took to it. Once you saw a lot of the guys, pick around and be a little timid at first, but once they got involved and started hands-on, I wasn't surprised at all in how well they took to it. And once they kind of saw the writing on the wall and could see what was going to happen, and then started really getting glimpses of what was happening by tasting things and seeing how they cook as the process went along. And I was more surprised at how blessed I felt to be a part of the whole thing, much less how they they took to it. I was surprised at how much of a blessing it is to me.
Yeah. Billy, whose team did you cook on? Who did you have the luxury of cooking under?
So Chris and I kind of started out trimming meats and stuff. I was the first one that showed up down there because I wanted to get every bit of this event that I could in. So it was a 4-hour drive from my house to El Campo, and as soon as I could get there, I showed up a little before noon. Chris had just finished trimming pork butt, and so he opened the chickens up, and I was in there, and we were in it. So and Mr. Lambert had some problems with the airport and being diverted, so he was a little late. But we trimmed meats, and Mr. Lambert and Chris kind of cooked in the same trailer. So I was exposed to both of them, and Mr. Dunn was kind of on the other side. So he had his veterans on that side, but I watched both of these guys and kind of helped both of them.
Okay. So you learned a little bit from each one of them. That's kind of what Joey was saying.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool deal. Joey, how many veterans did you bring in for this? I mean, I know a lot of times it's 3 or 4 veterans. Obviously, you got 3 teams, so I have to think it was a little more. How many teams did you have, or how many vets and first responders did you have in for this event?
In for this, man, it was a total of 8. And then we had 5 cooking. Went in 2 or 6 cooking, 2 for or 5.
Wow.
It's 5.
So you had 5 vets.
5 cooking.
5 cooking. Man, that is so awesome. Golly, that is awesome.
It was new for us because, I mean, we weren't going to turn anybody down. That's why we had to start building other teams. For us to try to do 5 people to cook on one team, they won't get as much hands-on. And that's what we like to try to get it 2 to 3, and they all get the experience together.
There you go.
Split up and all cook together as a family. So
yeah, there you go. Keep it in small teams where everybody gets to do a little bit, and you don't feel like you're left out. You're giving them I really like that because you're bringing these guys in. You're giving them the attention that they need and make them feel welcome, right? And if you have a whole bunch of people and you're trying to divide the time in with everybody, I think it gets lost. I think that was a great thing to do. Chris, did you have something you was going to say?
Yeah, we have one veteran who was a repeat veteran. He was there last year at this cook-off, and he came through the program again. So,
that's great. That's great. That is so awesome. Let's see, Anthony, it was great. It was a great sight to see. Oh, I'm telling you right now, when I started seeing you guys walking, and when I was watching it live, Lee was streaming it on BBQ Champs Facebook page, and I was watching it live, and man, I see Mark, I see David, Chris, I see Johnny, and then man, when y'all got that last call, Chris, I was like, man, what a great effort by that team, and it was like, who's going to win this? I knew it, kudos to Tim and Jackie. I mean, I was like, it's down to those two. It's got to either be Chris or Jackie. You don't ever know, but man.
So I'm up there with the awards. I'm kind of like that face, and I hate to put it on Josh, but when Josh got that 3rd place, and then I said, "Holy cow!" I said, "We got a big chance here." I said, "Reserve grand." I didn't care, but I went, "Holy cow! I think we got a big chance."
Right.
And to see it fall out like that, no one saw pictures of it, but I fell on the ground. I lost it. Chris is throwing chairs. I'm on the ground crying. So.
Yeah, Joey's balled up in a like a ball crying. So we got Joey every time we get Joey on here. He's always crying when it comes to all this. So that's amazing.
He's not by himself.
Yeah,
but Patrick Mudd, it's been posted on there. They came with the program. Those guys, I got to give them a shout out. IT Tech Coolers is on board with us now, full bore, and they drove all the way from Tennessee, brother. Thank you so much, man. What a partnership! I can't wait to just run the roads with you guys, man. Y'all were a blessing to come there and help out and do everything we needed in the background. That guy right there is A1.
Patrick? Okay, Patrick, man.
Yes,
thank you, man. Thank you. And what's the name of the company again?
IC Tech Coolers.
IC Tech Coolers. Okay.
I'll echo that. Great group of guys at a great company, great products.
That's so awesome.
Couldn't speak more highly of them.
That's so awesome. Patrick, man, thank you for getting involved with such a great organization. Joey has got a heart as big as All Outdoors and what they're doing. I mean, that's why we wanted to get Billy on here. I mean, I wanted to have somebody on here to give the experience of what it was like. And it sounds like to me, Billy, you had a pretty dadgum good time.
Oh yes, sir. It was a blast. I mean, getting to where else? I mean, can you go cook with world champions and they're willing to any question you have, they answer. I mean, we were in the trenches in that thing. We had pork slung everywhere. It was a damn mess. But
Ben had on his back.
I'm sitting there watching Mr. Lambert, pick through the pork butt, and he's like, "Nope, that's not going to work. Nope, that's not going to work." And I was like, "Whoa, I want to know why that doesn't work. Tell me why, Mr. Champion, that wasn't good enough to go in the box." And so it's phenomenal. And one thing I want to mention is, this organization, it not only helps veterans and first responders, but it takes care of their families. Because I cannot tell you, I mean, I put my wife through absolute hell. I'm not going to be the first to deny it. I mean, post-deployment, I was not a nice guy. And she put up with me. And we've been married 19 years. And, she's stuck by my side, and she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And they take care of them too. Families don't get the recognition that they need. Us veterans, we all have a sense of duty, and we get in there and we're going to take care of this stuff because we have a calling to do that. Same thing with first responders. It takes a special person to do that job. Families don't ask for that. They've never asked for that to happen. And for them to sit at home and take care of the home front while we're over there taking care of business, this organization recognizes them too, and that is what makes it so special. Yeah,
that is so true. It's to help everybody, and I always say, beside every good man, there stands a great woman. It used to be always the whole behind every. No, it's beside. They stand beside you, and
that's why we chose Lost Lagoon for our place to have our cook-off.
Right.
Because we've had veterans that brought their family, they brought their dogs, they brought their kids. We ate as a family every night together. Yeah. They got to enjoy the pool. They got to enjoy their time of barbecue. There's no other retreats for veterans because they only take them. If they get to go deer hunting, they can't take their wife, all that stuff. They're going on fishing trips. They can't do that stuff, but they can with us.
Yeah. Joey, what's the foundation's website? It's Texas Chrome?
TexasChrome.org, and it also TexasChromeBarbecue.com. They both go this. We have one site now for everything.
Okay, TexasChrome.org. I'm going to add that because I know somebody was asking just a second. To find out more about the incredible organization, visit TexasChrome.org, and that is to the Heroes Foundation, correct?
That's all of it. The BBQ Champ site. It's everything all in one now. There's no mistake. They get to one site.
Okay, good. So I know somebody was asking, I remember who it was. Okay, where can I find out? Okay, it was Anthony. Where can I find out more about Texas Chrome Heroes?
Anthony,
yeah. So, to find out the site, and sorry it took me just a second. I was trying to get all that typed in, but that's it, TexasChrome.org, TexasChrome.org. Let's see if we got a couple other questions. Let's see. Helped me in many ways. Let's see. Brian Ruthers, yes, it's helped me in many ways. That's great. See, my honor. Yeah, Patrick says thank you. It's his honor to be part of this. So, Patty says the rest of y'all were crying too, Joey. Don't worry. You're not the only one.
No, I wasn't. I think I saw a tear out of Chris Davis' eye.
Carlos said thank you.
All had one or another.
Oh, yeah. Carlos says, Mark, thank you for listening to his story also. Chris's wife, Bobby, Anthony, you can visit the website, TexasChrome.org. There it is. If you have any other questions, I'm glad to help. If I can, at least you can get in touch with Joey or Cassie. Absolutely. So, Jason Swigler, woo! Fantastic people right there. That's it.
He built us a drum for an auction. That was awesome.
That's
Jason
awesome.
Got some good products, brother.
Yeah, that's awesome. He does got some great products. Much success, fellas. We veterans appreciate you all and what you're doing. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your service, brother, to our country. I say PTSD is a monster, and this foundation is a godsend. Chris Davis and Bobby know my story because he was with me, and they know my family and what I have gone through because of it. Thank you, Brian, for your service, and Chris, thank you for being a dear brother to him. Hey, look who else we got here, Mr. Fred Robles. Thank you, brother, for being here tonight. That's a lot of barbecue sexy on my screen. Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Fred. That is, you can't get any better than that. Dang it! If it was 8 o'clock, I should have saved that to 8 o'clock and closed out the show with that, Freddie. So,
well, I was going to close out to them. We can give that to there because I tell you what, for them to track points the way that we wanted, we built our organization Chase around their program, and I want to give them a shout out. They did a good job of running the series and everything. Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
your whole group, everybody at CBA, y'all did a great job.
Yeah, CBA.barbq.org. I think that's right. If I recall, ain't that right, Fred? CBAbarbq.org. This is a new barbecue organization that was started up at the beginning of last year, maybe late the year before. I know it's been out a little over a year and a half now, and I think that's right. Fred Robles and Roddy, they just started up a great organization. And if you're looking to find barbecue competitions to get to, be sure to check them out, cbabbq.org. Yep, there it is. Thank you so much, Fred, for throwing that up, cbabbq.com. I thought it was .org. I'm sorry. Thank you, Freddie, for correcting me. Thank you, sir. cbabbq.com is the website. Of course, it's not .org. It's not a, I don't know what I was thinking. Thank you, Fred. And thank you for the great job that you're doing. And I wish you guys the best of luck. Y'all are just absolutely crushing it. So let's see, Vincent, when walking over to visit, you could see the look in their face. They were there to win it. Yeah. I guarantee you they didn't show up just to show up. They showed up to show out and show off, and they did it. And congratulations to all you guys. That's for sure. So
that was your first place pork guy there too, wasn't it?
Who's that?
Vince got first place.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, congratulations. That's right.
Wizard Products in the house, another supporter of the foundation.
Oh yeah, no doubt. He's got some amazing stuff. We've had Vince on here. Texas Wizard stuff. It is off the chain good. His glazes and sauce is absolutely phenomenal. Make sure you go check him out.
Pancakes, or you want to come up with something, that guy right there,
he can make it.
About the sauces, he can make it. I don't care if you dream it up. If you want it to taste like Chris's butt crack, he's going to make it.
It would just take like crayons.
You had to go there.
You just had to go there. All right, I think it's time. Whoop, let's see. Congratulations on all you guys. So well deserved, and so awesome to see how the power of barbecue can help you guys battling your demons for a while. And my trailer door will always be open for you guys. Yes, guys. Yes, thank you, sir. So.
Huey's a great guy. Y'all never met Huey. If you ever get a chance to meet Huey, he's a wonderful person.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Public safety announcement: keep chairs, hats, and au jus from Chris. I love that. That is so funny right there. Nice to see Chris. Nice to see Chris comb his bird's nest. So let's see who else got. James Page, God bless all of you doing. I'm honored to cook with a veteran, and he is an amazing guy. Ashley, doing God's work right there for this foundation. Thank you for your servant's heart. Thank you, sir, Ashley. I know no truer words could be spoken. It's organizations like this that save veterans' lives. Thank you for all of your hard work, and thank you, Mark, for your time and talking to me at Galax and the beer. So.
Galax.
Okay, thank you, Joey. Let's see, just the red ones. Dustin Stanley. Dustin, thank you, brother. God, we got to thank Dustin for putting the 6-pack together. It was
he ramrodded it all.
He had the vision to put a 6-pack together. Dustin reached out to Joey and made it happen. Got the money and the support for each one of these. Absolutely amazing what they did. Fred Robles, I hope you're still on. Yeah,
his wife
Fred,
Julie, she's in the behind the scenes. It ain't all Dustin. His wife
No.
does a lot of it.
No, it's
Julie.
probably Dustin just says yes. Probably most of them. Dustin says don't do this, don't do that, and he's probably out fishing somewhere. So, but it took the vision to bring it together, and I hope Fred Robles is still on. Fred, thank you for allowing this deal to go through. Right. So
yes, it was a village. I mean, we sat down and drew all this out at Tomball. Tom and Bell, we did all this at the VFW in Tomball, and when we started drawing all this out and what organization, we met with everybody to put this package together, and it takes a village. I mean, they're on the screen, they're in my life.
Yeah,
it's so we're so blessed. I mean, that's the guy upstairs ran it all, really. I mean, and he just let it flow on us. That's how we got here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Patty behind. Now, Patty, I'm going to say beside every man. Beside every man, there's a great woman. And you are a great one, and I know Johnny would 100% agree. I have had the chance.
Well, she's behind because she always has her foot up his ass. So that's why
All right, so I stand corrected, Patty. I can see why you may have to straighten Johnny out every once in a while, and Joey as well. So
exactly.
Billy touched
some of us take a little more prodding than others.
Yeah,
Billy
Chris,
touched on a little bit while ago. What a lot of people don't understand is, like, as a veteran and first responder, you know, like, our wives, they deal with the same stuff we have to deal with.
Yeah.
People
100%.
don't realize, you know, we're hard on ourselves, you know, but for them to watch us suffer the way we do sometimes, you know, it's really hard on them too, you know. So I
mean,
props to your wife, Billy. Props to all the veterans' wives out there. It's a struggle for them as well.
Well, you think about it. They love you, right? You know, they love you unconditionally. And when they see you in pain, they're trying to be strong, right? Because they don't want to. If they break down in front of you, that makes it even worse for you. So I tell you what, you know, hats off.
Take the pain.
They're trying to take the pain. Absolutely. Yes. Billy, don't you agree with that? I mean, you said you've been married 19 years. That's a lot to deal with. And if they break down emotionally because they see what you're going through, it's hard on them, and they probably are trying to hide those feelings because the last thing you want to do is, you know, see them breaking down. So wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, my wife's the strongest woman I've ever met. I mean, like I said, I was not a nice guy. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, you know, when I came home my first tour, I had a drinking problem, and I drank a lot. And, you know, I drink a little bit now, but nothing like I did then. And it was just trying to reconnect with your wife after being gone for that period of time. And my first deployment, my daughter was born while I was overseas. So I came home to a whole different environment. You know, she's here with the baby. They'd kind of already connected, and I was the new guy. And it was very hard. It was very hard. But she stuck with me, and she stuck with me through it all.
Right. That's so awesome.
I hope to get to meet you one day, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
And that's one of the things that we have, I think, recognized in Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation is this is not just about the veterans. It's about the spouses. It's about the family. That and I think we have helped veterans. There's no doubt. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But we've also helped their spouses and their children. And so this is generational.
Right.
Which probably we weren't smart enough to figure that out from the beginning, but we recognized it as it happened. And I think Joey and I have seen some things when we see the veterans talking to other veterans, we learn so much. He and I had to walk out of the trailer down there at Seadrift one night because of a discussion going on. It got emotional.
Right.
With a bunch of veterans talking to each other. And that's therapy for them that we never realized.
Yeah.
And not being veterans ourselves. So we learn a lot from the veterans. We get a lot more from them than they ever realize.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not a corporate people trying to fix a problem here. We're a common man. We're common people to do common things that we know we need to do and engage. Yeah, we're not big funded or nothing like that, but we make it happen. We all pull our stuff and our resources together, and we do the right thing. And when you do the right thing, good things happen.
That's it, 100%.
And it's because we have these great sponsors that we can do this, and saving a marriage or saving a life. I mean, on average, 22 veterans a day commit suicide. That's unacceptable. No. And we refuse to sit by and watch that happen. We're doing a little bit. We want to do a lot more. Right. And I think we all should feel that way as Americans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we should share it, Johnny. We talked about this. I mean, we had a veteran signed up that was kind of just like Billy was talking about. It took him forever to come in the program. We had one. We reached out, and then I kept trying because we were young then. I mean, this was in the middle of last year, and we kept trying to reach out. We knew he was having issues, and we got to talk to him. And he goes, "I'm coming." He signed up for the weekend. Well, he didn't show, so we're going to put him in the shuffle for the next thing because we could have just kept on going. Well, he didn't want to go, and I want to hear from them. And then his mom and daughter showed up to a competition, says we wanted to show up for our son. He committed suicide. And we want to tell you that he had every ambition to be here with us. And we just want to let you know that thank you for reaching out. And we were almost that close of getting a hold of him. So we have been 3 years young, and we've been through this rodeo and up and down with these families, and we're going to still here to stick it out. So we're here, and we just need to get them involved. We're not giving up.
No, we're not going to give up.
No, it's too big now. You got too many people behind you. Speaking of people behind you, Joey, I want you to give a shout out to your sponsors that's behind the Texas Chrome. I'm sure the list is pretty good, but I think our listeners need to hear who is involved with Texas Chrome.
Oh boy, and as it is, it's always so hard for me to give them, and a lot of them don't want to shout out because they know we're common. But you know what? First Class RV with Brandon and Alma Davis. They're on our board. They have backed us 100%, and we rock and roll. And I'm going to go through the list because I'll sit here and I got a story with all of them, and I'm going to go at We Brand It, the barbecue store. Robert Smith, First Class Barbecue, all his donations and stuff he's done with us. KCR Cabinets, they made the trophies of the bases for us. Kintex Roofing, JC Communications, Texas Highway Haulers, Texas Pepper Jelly, Craig Sherry, Sweet Swine of Mine, and my brother, Mark Lambert. I got BBQ Champs, of course. You make steel, man, everything I need. You give these guys the classes. We don't promote that enough, but you're fixing to have a lot of them watching videos. You've got that coming too, Billy. Rec Tech come on board this year. We got Rec Tech Grills. Got the Spy Shop. I got Jim Compart. He's helping us out. Darren George with DRG Custom does the custom carts. And Icy Tech. Patrick, man, y'all came on like a crazy wildfire. David with Gunter Wilhelm Knives and Midland Meat Company. John, man, you're outstanding. LC Barbecue, Chicken Fried, man, and then, of course, we got Fred Robles and his rubs. They donate these rubs with no cost. They do an outstanding job. And, man, I'm probably going to miss some people because we got some people that we get funding that just comes out of the woodwork, just little dollars here. We got people just giving us $5 a month and $10 a month, and I just can't. Hell, y'all.
And some people donate and don't want anybody to know.
Yeah.
Yes, we got silent donors that don't even want to be recognized.
Right.
But we were at our last fundage coming into this cook-off because we're going to do them if we take it out of our own pocket because it takes a lot right now. We know that the cookers are struggling, and everybody for all the competitions and the prices that we're all dealing with, we feel it too. I mean, we're having a meeting our series is going to be price effective for next year. We're going to help the cookers find quality meat at a lower cost. And we're really going to try to help our barbecue community, because if it's not for our barbecue people, we can have this competition next year by ourselves. And if we don't have the other 60, 70 teams that show up to support the event, there's not a cook-off.
Right. 100%. 100%. Well, I tell you what, Joey, I'm so thankful for what you've done for all of these men. The vision that you had was kind of like a vision I had for helping barbecue grow and with BBQ Champs. And it was funny, if you want to know how that started, my first phone call was that man right there. It was probably about 4 weeks after he won the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo with Mark. I made the phone call to him and I was like, look, you know, how about an online cooking class that's, you know, to teach people how to do it? And he was like, man, sign me up. I'm in. And he was the first one that said yes. And then the next phone call was to Robbie Royal, and he said yes. And we got them in. And then next thing you know, he's talking to Corey Mikes, and Corey said yes. And then that's how it started. Those were our first three. And then as soon as we got started, he was like, now you need to call Mark Lambert, because he needs to be involved in this. And it's continued to roll. We got some of the greatest cookers out there as far as I'm concerned. Y'all's classes are as legit as they get. You will win. It's not a matter of, you know, are you shortchanging stuff? You guys, heart's too big, and y'all just lay it out on the line. And I see it, because every time somebody takes classes, they immediately go out there and walk. So you're not holding back like some people may do. And I commend you guys for that. And that was kind of one of the stipulations. I said, look, if we're going to make this thing work, you got to lay it out there. Because if they get the stuff and you go out there and it don't work, the whole thing will collapse. And I want to thank each and every one of you for that. So, Joey, thank you for having the vision to get this going to help people that are suffering. And, man, it's been great.
I can't do it without my friends, my family right here.
That's it, brother. 100%. 100%. Chris,
we love you,
buddy.
brother.
What you got,
Love
Chris?
you.
We get ready to close this out before Joey gets crying too much. We'll all be in tears here. So go ahead, Joey. Get it out, brother. Chris, go ahead, man.
All good.
That's it.
All right, see,
Man, I love all y'all. I love this foundation. And Billy,
love you, man. You're a badass.
There you go. All right, Johnny.
Well, I'd like to say the same thing. I mean, I enjoy working with these guys. It's a true honor and a pleasure. We all mess with each other. I mean, that's one reason why if we ever put the video in the trailer, we have to cut the sound out. I mean, we mess with each other a lot, but we would do anything in the world for each other. So
Yeah.
And our veterans that are working with us. And to Billy, I would like to say that I'm glad that you overcame your resistance to signing up.
Yes.
Because you belong in this group. You're family now, so thank you.
Yes, the door is still open, Mo.
Absolutely,
You know that.
brother. Absolutely. Mark?
thank you, Mark Lambert, for all the laughs this weekend, brother.
Mark will keep you laughing.
Ric Flair impersonations.
That's
He does
it.
an awesome job. I mean,
Yeah.
Mark, I mean, he calmed me down at barbecue. I mean, I would have never got where I'm at today without Mark. Everybody knows that. I tell it all the time.
Yeah.
And when you get your mindset on something and accept it and not look at the dark side of stuff, because I do that in barbecue just like anybody else, going, man, I don't know if I can get to that spot. Well, when you get to somebody that says, hey, man, your shit's good,
Yeah.
your stuff's good, keep going, and just roll with it and accept who you are. And when you do that as a person, Mark told me to be myself, and after that, I've never looked back.
That's it.
Thank you, Mark.
That's it. Lot of wisdom from Mark. Unmute yourself, brother.
He got squirreled.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why we got it on the trailer.
Y'all don't hear me fart, I'm sure. So I had to
That's
mute it.
okay. That's okay. All right, Mark, what you got, brother?
Oh, I was just going to say, hey, if there's one thing that anyone that's watching this can take away is that everyone's got a gift, and if you've got a gift, one, if you don't know what it is, you know, it takes a little soul searching to figure out what your God-given gifts are, and then once you learn how big of a blessing it is to pass those gifts on to other people, that's one of the most one of the biggest blessings you can ever have in your life. You know,
Absolutely.
It takes some soul searching to figure that out. But once you do, I know people out there that have some of the best God-given gifts in the world, and they don't share them.
Yeah.
And I just think that if anyone's watching this and they want some encouragement to go and help other people figure out what you do better than anybody else, and go out and use it to help other people, it's the biggest blessing you can be in somebody else's life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mark, thank you, man, for being there for Joey from the get-go, and Chris and Johnny, all of you guys, the vision to pull this together. I think Joey and Mark I think you leaned on him a little bit, then you started bringing people in, and it's just been.
Uh-oh. We lose him?
Yeah, I think
I don't know. Okay, so we're all still on. We lost you, Mike.
We lost your audio, Mike.
Hey, at least it wasn't us this time. Hey, let's continue with the show. Really jacked
It's our show now.
It's our show now. We're going to run this thing.
Hey, Mike, you can sign off. We don't need you.
Yeah,
we got it, Mike. Don't worry about it.
If you type in right now, free barbecue champ signs ups right now on the screen. I want a free class. Anybody that signs up until Mike gets his audio,
until Mike gets his voice back,
you get a free backyard class. Come on, start typing.
You hit the mute button, Mike, or what?
Well, he is scrambling.
Oh, he's talking, but we can't hear you. It's all good.
I think he just had to fart and hit the mute
as
button.
fast as you can go.
Hadn't give us the finger yet, though.
No, yeah.
Well, I guess we should close this out. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
I don't know his little slogan and stuff, but maybe we should just continue our own. So maybe we should. What do you think, Mark?
Whoa! I'm back. I muted my mic.
It's no longer your show, Mike.
Woo! Man, alive. I was so mad because I was wanting to let Billy close this thing out. That is crazy. All right. I don't know what happened. I must have hit something that muted my dang mic. So anyway, but yeah, that's great. I'm glad I'm back. The host of the show lost it there for a second. So anyway, Billy, look, brother, we want to give you the last word, man.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
first of all, I want to say again, thank you, Mike, for asking me to be on the show. And that's actually one of my barbecue goals that I established for myself, was to be on the podcast. And, you know, I want to, like I said, I want the barbecue sport to grow. And I think, you know, we saw a big growth in it after BBQ Pitmasters came on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Barbecue USA was just on the Food Network, and I think it's going to drive more interest to competition barbecue as well.
Yeah.
You know, to each of the guys on the screen, I mean, I've told you 100 times this weekend, thank you. And I'm going to continue to say thank you every time I see you and give you a hug, because that's who I am. You know, I'm a pretty emotional guy too. And, you know, I've done pretty good at hiding the tears, but like I said earlier, y'all are my brothers, y'all are my family. And, you know, I look forward to doing it again with you. And I want to say thank you so much for doing God's work, because I can't say enough that this is where this is coming. And, you know, the man upstairs has blessed this organization with good leaders,
Amen.
good men and women, to make things like this happen. So much goes on behind the scenes. I mean, it had to be a logistical nightmare for Mr. Smith and his wife to get everybody there and to make it happen.
Who's
And
Mr. Smith?
Yeah. Joey.
I don't know that guy.
Joey.
I'm sorry.
Joey. Yeah.
But,
So
but thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I was blessed to be able to be in the back of that trailer, working beside world champions, talking with veterans, sharing war stories that only other veterans understand.
Yeah.
And I mean, you talk about locations that you've been to overseas, and they know they were there. And so thank you. You know, one of my favorite sayings in the world came from Vince Lombardi, and Vince Lombardi said, "Perfection is not attainable, but if you chase perfection, you could obtain excellence." And these guys are chasing it, and they've obtained excellence. And just keep doing God's work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Billy,
Thank you,
you're
Billy.
welcome in our camp anytime.
Thank you.
Brother.
Thank you, Billy. I appreciate it, and thank you for your service too, man. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I tell you what, it's been an absolute great night. I really do appreciate each and every one of you and what y'all have done to help Joey make his dream come true. And Billy, obviously, thank you for going through the program, and I hope it helps you, brother. And I hope you can share your experience with other vets that may be needing, this type of help as well. And I'm sure you'll be a great spokesperson for the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation now that you've seen what it's really like. And thank you so much.
Yes, sir. I want to say, they surprised us at the end of the day by sending us home with a grill. My pellet grill, and I'd actually caught my own pellet grill on fire earlier in the week, and these guys sent me home with a Rectech Bullseye. And Elvis had a taking care of business little symbol, and I'm going to name my Bullseye the TCB, but it's going to be the Texas Chrome Bullseye.
There you go. That's so awesome. That's awesome. Well, I hope everybody's enjoyed our show tonight. We always are so grateful for you being here and listening. We've got a pretty big announcement that we're fixing to make some changes up or not changes up, but we've got something that we're going to do that we've never done with BBQ Champs Academy. I really, really tried hard to have that available tonight on the show, but two things. Number one, I didn't want to take away from this. And number two, we was just having some problems with the cart checking out. And I'm going to talk to Mark and Joey a little bit about it afterwards. So be sure to keep them notifications turned on. I'll probably go live when we break this news and let everybody know it. I think it's going to be fun, exciting. We're here to help BBQ grow and get everybody ready for the Royal that's going. So be in tune for what we've got, or stay in tune for what we've got coming down the line. Thank each and every one of you guys so much for what y'all have done to help the vets and to help Joey. Thank you so much. Billy, thank you once again for being on and taking the time to be with us tonight. It's been an honor to have you. And to all of our listeners, we appreciate you so much. As we always say when we close out our cooking class, y'all go out there, have a